Forbidden Zone.
Going down, down, down the forbidden zone.
Now, who all's here? Oh, I need to bring Ben. Ben, since he left. Ben, I think you left when we were planning the show. You left, and I'm gonna have to add you back every time. So I'm gonna try
Yeah.
and remember to bring you back every time.
Oh, good.
But Forbidden Zone is directed by Richard Elfman, who is the older brother of Danny Elfman, who everybody knows is one of the top composers working in Hollywood today. And Danny Elfman did the music. He didn't do all of the music, but he's one of the major contributors. And he also appears in this movie as Satan. So we could have had this on last week's show, but we didn't think about it, I don't think. Or maybe we knew 1980 was coming. But does anyone want to try and synopsize Forbidden Zone, gentlemen? Does anyone feel like they're qualified? I just saw it today, so I'll try if no one else wants to.
Well, it's about a heroin dealer who finds a door to the
Sixth.
sixth dimension in his basement, and promptly decides to get the hell out of that house. And then the Hercules family moves in, and they're an odd family, but eventually one member of the family after another starts to discover this door in the basement, and they all head down into the sixth dimension, the Forbidden Zone, and they live happily ever after.
Oh,
I bet that's not true.
what a cop out! What
Oh,
a
it's
cop out!
fantastic. No, this is one of my favorite movies in the world. The world, yeah, the world. Um, wow.
I think I want to add just a little bit more to the plot, even though goodness knows the plot's held together with the thinnest of material sometimes. But a woman, the daughter in the Hercules family, goes down there and they have to go get her. They have to
Frenchie.
save their daughter, Frenchie. But the king of the other dimension, played by Hervé Villechaize,
King Fausto.
King Fausto, falls in love with Frenchie, which makes his wife the queen, played by Susan Tyrrell, Academy Award
York.
nominee for Fat City, we found out, is jealous and upset. So I think one of the more compelling things in the movie is the relationship between the king and the queen, Susan Tyrrell and Hervé Villechaize, because they love each other, but they're jealous and they're insecure at the same time. In a way, they're the most grounded, real characters, which is a weird thing to say about anyone in this movie. But essentially, all kinds of members of the Hercules family. I think by the end, they're all down there in the sixth dimension, trying to save themselves. And they end up vanquishing the queen and kind of becoming the new co-rulers of the sixth dimension. Trying to describe what Forbidden Zone's about is really an exercise in futility, because I don't think anyone watches it for what it's about. Trying to
No.
explain it to someone who's never seen it's hard to do too, because there's what else is like Forbidden Zone?
Very little. Mostly
Okay.
vintage cartoons.
Yeah,
Is primarily what it's like. The thing is that so Richard Elfman is actually the one who started the Mystic Knights of the Oingo Boingo, and they used to do stage performances, live stage performances, and so this was an attempt to bring some of those live stage performances together into a film. And to some degree, I mean, Richard Elfman is directing, and he let Danny sort of take over the music, which is later, Danny evolves that into Oingo Boingo, which we all know and love. But yeah, not much else is like it. And some of the choices that they made, they later wish they hadn't, which is why it is a little difficult to recommend this movie to just anybody, perhaps. So all the blackface stuff that they did,
they changed it.
they changed it to clown face, and that was actually something that he wanted to do shortly after it was made. Apparently, like he was like, maybe we should, But I think that it definitely helps to give the film the feeling of the time that it's going for, or the feeling of the time of the cartoons that it's going for. Um, you know, it's it's not the least offensive thing,
No.
but
The clown face didn't. I mean, that kind of stuff is dated. You have to accept that in 1980 things were different and things were so much
Yeah.
more culturally acceptable.
yeah.
So I don't have any problem with that kind of stuff, especially now that they've changed it and they've kind of disavowed it and basically apologized for it. And it's a very minor part of the movie. This movie is like a Saturday Night Live sequence of skits, mostly musical. They play a lot of like Cab Calloway type music. They lip sync to
Calloway,
old Cab
Josephine
Calloway,
Baker,
Josephine Baker stuff, and then there's some original stuff by Danny Elfman and I guess Oingo Boingo.
And Richard Elfman too, yeah.
But like they never like stop and have a whole song. Like the whole thing is just kind of musical, like all the way through. So it's I guess I would call it a musical, but it's not like any other musical you've ever seen.
No, I would say they do stop for a couple of the songs. Certainly, Witch's Egg.
Yeah.
They sort of stop for and go into a whole animated sequence. Her Susan Tyrrell's head floating around, and stuff like that. And the Yiddish of Charleston
Yeah.
sort of stopped for a minute while she's sitting there, like, geez, what is this? But
It's very much a counterculture movie.
it's a midnight movie.
And a midnight movie,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's designed, I feel, to partly be for the midnight crowd, as that was really starting to take off at this time. And I mean, but really, from everything I've heard, they were just doing their best to make it like
The
their
show.
show, and everybody believed in the project.
Yeah,
Everybody believed.
I read
in the
everyone
project.
but one actor forfeited their salaries back to the production.
Back to and that was just the one guy, who was an actor that they hired. But that the kid with the Mickey Mouse ears that you just saw up there, that is one of my favorite parts of that, because when you
Bim
put
bam boom.
bim bam boom, when you put somebody's mouth over somebody else's mouth and make it talk, that's hilarious every
is
damn
funny.
time. I
It
don't
is.
care. That's so funny. But the funniest part, I found out, that kid, they hired people off the street. Like, they ran out of money several times, and they hired people off the street. And that kid was one of the kids that they hired off the street, got him in there and got him in front of the camera, and he just stood there.
Oh.
So they put it's not Richard Elfman's, it's another member over his mouth. I think it's the writer. I'm trying to remember who it was.
So that wasn't planned. It was what they had to
wasn't
do out of
planned. It was what
necessity.
they had to do, and it's so wonderful.
That's a good story. That's a good story. I
And,
read Hervé Villachez helped paint sets.
That's exactly what I
Like
was.
he wasn't just cashing in a paycheck. I think he actually knew someone involved with the production. There was history.
Again, it was the writer, whose name is escaping me right now, but he was roommates with him while this was, or just before this was going on, or while this was going on.
And you know what else that writer wrote many years later that is one of the most ridiculous movies ever?
What?
Tiptoes.
Tiptoes, really?
With Gary Oldman playing the little
yeah,
person,
yeah,
where Gary
yeah.
Oldman's on his knees the whole movie.
Yeah.
Oh my! He wrote that. That's a connection to Forbidden Zone. I just learned that
crazy.
today. It's crazy. I mean, this
is
is a
his name?
hard. I can't remember the writer's name.
It's
You'll have to.
escaping me, but yeah.
I don't remember. I think he did a couple of other movies I've heard of, but not many. This is a hard movie for me to review. It's almost the kind of movie that I don't like to review because it's review proof in many ways, because it's a movie that exists to counterbalance everything else that's out there. If everything else is polished and studio done, then this is like people scrounging up pennies out of the couch to put something together that's intentionally rough around all the edges. I mean, it's got these Caligari-esque like sets that are just sheets of paper hanging that are like painted and stuff.
Yeah, and that actually, Marie Pascal Elfman, who was Richard's wife at the time, she's the one who plays Frenchie. She designed all the sets, and Hervé was instrumental in helping those get realized. Yeah. Anyway, kind of interesting.
And did I see that Hervé Villechaize and Susan Tyrrell dated in real life?
That is correct. Yep.
Like, wow, that's
It's not that hard to believe. I don't know why you think it's so hard to believe.
I've heard Hervé Villechaize was a horn dog in real life. Like, he was a major player.
And he was a painter, and he was charming, you know. And you know what they say.
If anyone's seen this movie and they think Susan Tyrrell's awesome, I also highly recommend seeing Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, because she's got a bigger part in that, and she's 10 times funnier in that movie. She just puts me in stitches in that movie, and she's one of the best parts of this one too. This I recommend to anyone who just wants to say fuck you to all the expected, mundane, rote, tired old things. And it's a short movie. It's only like 70-something minutes, I think. So
And it's
it
so
doesn't really wear out
endlessly-
its welcome.
Endlessly quotable. You know what I mean?
I don't know
Look at
about
this world, you
quotable.
cup cup. And you think you're going to take over another universe? You're really out to lunch.
Maybe it's quotable to someone who's seen it as many times as you have. This was only my second time today.
Okay.
Do you want to give it a score, Arthur? We review movies 1 to 10 sometimes.
I mean, I'm not real crazy about the whole
Scoring
but-
mechanism.
Yeah, but
You don't
I
have
mean,
to.
This is definitely one of my favorite movies. So I mean, I would go. It depends. Okay, if I'm talking about favorites, it's a 10. If I'm talking about the actual execution of the movie, I think that they pulled off a 7.5.
Okay. I'm not going to give it a score. I'll give it this one with a
Now, what
caveat.
did you do that
Personal enjoyment. I would give it a 6. I don't love it. To me, there's not enough narrative to keep me engaged, but it's whimsical. And as indie filmmaker, you see how these people are able to put something together and create another world with like hardly any resources at all. That's inspirational. The music's one of the best parts,
It's excellent.
especially the old like Calloway, Josephine Baker stuff. I like those moments quite a bit. Like sometimes when they're talking, I want them to sing again, and that's something. Because usually when they start singing, I'm like, oh man, stop singing and start talking again. So other problem on this one. Forbidden Zone's so weird though. I recommend everyone see it because it's there's nothing else like it, and that has to count for something. And plus, look at Susan Tyrrell eating a big
Look
old
at her.
sausage. I mean,
And Hervé really was like that.